Hi Sew Aldo fam, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello, welcome, and my name is Aldo and I make awesome sewing tutorials. I will really love it if you are going to subscribe to my channel. I upload new video every Thursday at 9 o'clock in the morning Central Time. So on today's tutorial, I am going to show you how I made this simple dress. I absolutely love how it turned out. If you notice, I have colors on my dress. This is the first time that I ever did or even attempted to do a colors, and it was very successful, which is yay. I finally get to make dresses with colors. I feel like I actually overcame one of my fear is this. Last year I finally figured out how to put a neckband. Neckband was really one of my, like, it just makes me nervous, it intimidates me, and this is the second thing on sewing that really intimidates me is collars. But I finally figured it out. It still needs a little bit of work, but as for, like, this is my first time to ever attempted it and it's very successful, so I'm really excited about that. So the first thing I will do is cut out all the pieces. So here I am cutting out the skirt portion of the dress, and this is going to be an flared A-line skirt. This is the same pattern that I used for this dress that I recreated a few weeks ago. And this skirt right here, I am just going to kind of alter it a little bit. So if you want to see the tutorial of these projects, I'm going to have the link in the description box below. I only have 2 yards of fabric to work with. That's why I am trying to save as much fabric as I could. And here I am cutting out the back bodice. And now I am cutting out the front bodice. So this dress is going to have princess dart seams. Also have a separate video on how I altered the basic bodice into a princess seams bodice pattern. So I'm just going to have the link in the description box below. On the side panels, I decided to do a side dart. So I basically pinched 1-inch dart right here, and I just kind of did it on the paper so I don't have to do it on the actual fabric. And then I use that same piece as a template, so I will have the same exact pattern. And did you notice I kind of flip it like this, so it should be like a mirror image. And I also cut out the sleeves. Just because the fabric is thick enough, I did not have to line it, thankfully, because I don't have enough fabric. So you should have 3 pieces for the front bodice. So it's going to be the front and the side panels, 1 back bodice, and 2 sleeves, and the A-line skirts, front and back. So the next thing I will do is I'm going to join the panels on the front bodice. So I'm basically just going to match the side seams and sew it from here all the way down to the waistline. I will use my serger for this. If you don't have a serger, just use your sewing machine. You can use a stretch stitch. Now it's time to join the bodices together. And as you can see here, I'm trimming off the excess fabric because I did not want to add darts at the back. Now I am going to join the shoulder seams and I am doing 1/2 inch seam allowance. I also made a front and back neck facing. I also matched the shoulder seams and I'm going to sew it. And then I'm also going to join the collars. So I matched the right sides together. I'm going to sew on the outer edge. Since this was my first time to do a collar, I really did not know what to expect. In hindsight, I should have put an interfacing to make the collar more sturdy. There will be a separate tutorial on how I drafted the collar, so be on the lookout for that one. Right after that, I am going to make some small cuts, especially on the curved edge of the fabric, just to release the tension around that area, and then I'm going to press it. Then using a pin, you can also use a stick maybe. I'm just going to push out the corners or the edge of the collar just to make it decent. Now it's time to attach the collar and the neck facing. So I open up the bodice like this. Right sides of the fabric is facing up and then I put the collar and then match it on the neck hole. I also quartered the neckline, the facing, and the collar, and then I just kind of match it. You basically want to sandwich the collar in between the two yellow fabrics. And then I am going to sew it all the way around doing 1/2 inch seam allowance. Actually, my sewing machine is acting up when I was doing this project. So right after that, I actually took it to the sewing machine people so they can fix it because the stitches are skipping. So yeah, so this project, the neckline was a little sloppy just because of my sewing machine. It's just not having a good time. Right after that, it should look something like this. Now I'm going to trim off the excess fabric right here so I can fold it in neatly. Right after that, I am going to understitch it. So the facing is going to stay put. I am going to sew it all the way around as close to the seam as possible, and the raw edge should face the facing. Now it should look something like this. As you can see, the facing is hiding the raw edge of the neckline and the main fabric. I am just going to fold the raw edge under and then sew it all the way around. Now that the neckline is finished, it's time to attach the skirt of the dress. And then I'm going to do a base stitch right along the edge of the skirt right here so I can lightly gather it. I decided not to add darts on the skirt just because this is going to be a summer dress, meaning I'm going to be eating out and going to barbecue and cooking out. So yeah, I want the dress to be a little kind of not super fitted because I would love to breathe comfortably. Now I'm just going to lightly gather it. I am using the waistline of the bodice as my guide. It's going to be 1 inch on both sides, so really it's not going to give me that full gather. It's just like easing the skirt on the waistline. Now I'm going to match the waistline of the skirt and bodice together. Right sides of the fabrics are facing each other. If you notice, I am attaching the skirt on the bodice in a different method. This is not my usual method. I decided to try it out. Actually love it. It's much more easier than sewing a full skirt inside of a full bodice. So yeah, this is going to be my new method from now on because it's just super easy. And then I'm going to serge it. Of course, you can use your sewing machine for this. Use a stretch stitch because this fabric is stretchy. You want to be able to stretch it out so the thread will not break. Right after that, I am going to attach the sleeves on the bodice or on the armholes. First, I am going to notch the center fold of the sleeves. And then I match the center fold of the sleeves to the shoulder seam. And then I'm going to serge it from here all the way to the other end. I will then repeat the same process on the other side. Now I'm just going to match the side seams of the dress starting from the sleeves all the way down to the hemline. And then I'm going to serge it from here all the way down to the hemlines. And if you don't have a serger, you can always use your sewing machine. Just use a stretch stitch to allow the thread to stretch so you will not break the seams or thread. Now all what's left to do is hem the sleeve hems and the hemlines, and the dress is done. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, to hit the notification so you will get notified whenever I post a new video. I post every Thursday at 9 o'clock in the morning Central Time. If you like this tutorial, you might like some of my sewing projects that I did in the past. I'm going to have the playlist right here so you can go ahead and check them out. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye!